Hey everyone, welcome back to the Rooster's Den. I'm Jaime Hernandez, and today we're continuing our educational experience at the School of Strixhaven with another Commander Pre-Con upgrade. But first guys, remember, if you are liking my content, please do not forget to hit like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. We've surpassed the 200 subscriber mark, and we've got less than 100 to go before we do our first secret layer giveaway. At the 300, 600, and 900 subscriber mark, I'll be giving away one of 3 Sony PlayStation secret layers: God of War Norse, Horizon Forbidden West, or Uncharted. And there is a special 4th unmentioned secret layer, and it's not from the Sony set, but it's one I'm pretty sure you will love. But enough of that, guys. You know what we got to do now. Hit the music. Today we are upgrading the Precon from the School of Lorehold. Quintorius, History Chaser. The card reads: whenever one or more cards leaves your graveyard, create a 3/2 red-white spirit creature token. His +1. You may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards, then mill a card. Then for his -4, spirits you control gain double strike and vigilance until end of turn. This deck just doesn't want cards in your graveyard, it wants them leaving your graveyard. Every time we recycle resources, flash something back, or pull a card out of our graveyard, Quintorius rewards us with an army of 3/2 spirits ready to overwhelm the table. Lorehold graveyard value wasn't something I saw coming, but this Precon has some serious potential. We've gotten token generation, discard synergy, reanimation style value, and explosive combat finishes all packed into one deck. But with all Precons, there are room for upgrades, and by the end of this video, I'll show you how to make this deck faster, more consistent, and way more terrifying once the graveyard starts rolling. So grab your deck box, shuffle up, and let's upgrade Quintorius History Chaser. We start off with the 2 planeswalkers of the deck, Elspeth Stormslayer and Quintorius Canned. Both these planeswalkers synergize perfectly with what Quintorius wants to do. Elspeth doubles our token generation, and Quintorius makes a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token with his +1. And not to mention his -3 we can discover for, ending up putting something on the battlefield for free. Then we have the creatures of the deck. They are Bannon, the Returns Leader, Hardened Academic, Creel, History Buff, Milliken, Relic Retriever, Selfless Spirit, Augusta, Order Returned, Claim Jumper, Dumb Bellower, Emeritus of Truth, Guardian of Faith, Lylea, the Blade Reforged, Lorehold Archivist, Nantucum Lore Spinner, Flage, Titan of Fire's Fury, Spirit of Resilience, Squee, Goblin Naboob, Vanguard of the Restless, Venerable Warsinger, Anger, Inkava the Risen Past, Mondrak, Glory Dominus, Sarah Paragon, Teshar, Ancestors Apostle, Balefire Liege, Horfy Ghostforge, Karmic Guide, Quintorius Field Historian, Quintorius Loremaster, and Moonshaker Cavalry. Next we come to our sorceries. They are Faithless Looting, Fateful Tempest, Seize the Spoils, Savine's Reclamation, Ceaseless Conflict, and Tragic Arrogance. Then we come to our instants. They are Flashback, Path to Exile, Boros Charm, Demand Answers, Lorehold Charm, Flawless Maneuver, Teferi's Protection, and Akroma's Will. Up next come our artifacts. They are Bag of Holding, Currency Converter, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Collector's Vault, Archaeomancer's Map, Bitterhorn, Nissa's Animist, Monument to Endurance, Patchwork Banner, and Tablet of Discovery. Following that we come to our enchantments. They are Land Tax, Cool But Rude, Impact Tremors, Caretaker's Talent, Monologue Tax, Takasi's Welcome, and War Leader's Call. The deck is running 36 lands. Some of the all-stars are Elegant Parlor, Emeria, the Sky Ruin, Mistvale Plains, Radiant Summit, Sacred Foundry, Spectator Seating, Sunbellow Verge, Sundown Pass, and Turbulent Steep. Now let's talk about some of the real MVPs of the deck, because they are the cards that will completely overperform once the engine gets rolling. First up has to be Horfy Ghostforge. This card is absolutely insane in this deck. Not only it buffs your spirit, but it also protects your creatures by bringing them back as copies of spirits when they die. That means your value creatures keep generating advantage, also while feeding the token synergy. Horfy basically turns board wipes into inconveniences instead of disasters. Another huge all-star is Squee, Goblin Naboob. This little goblin might not look flashy, but he's basically free fuel every single turn. You can discard them to your loot effects, bring them back to your hands during your upkeep, just keep the engine running forever. In a deck that wants cards consistently moving through your graveyard, Squee is a perfect role player. And then there's Flage, Titan of Fire's Fury, which honestly feels tailor-made for this strategy. It fills your graveyard, gives you recurring value, pressures your opponent, and most importantly, it repeatedly leaves the graveyard to trigger Quintorius. This card can take over a game by itself if opponents don't answer it quickly. And I also think Currency Converted deserves a ton of credit. This card quietly does everything the deck wants. It rewards you for discarding, gives you card advantage, creates bodies, and helps smooth out awkward hands. It's one of those cards that doesn't look broken until you actually play with it. And of course, we have Mondrak, Glory Dominus. Once you start doubling spirit tokens, this deck gets out of control really quickly. Quintorius already creates a steady stream of 2/2 spirits, but Mondrak gives every graveyard trigger into a massive board building threat. So how does this deck actually win the game? Most of the time, it will win the game by overwhelming board presence. You spend early turns looting, discarding cards, and setting up your graveyard. Mid-game, start recurring cards and generating spirits almost incidentally while gaining value. Then eventually the board reaches a tipping point where all of a sudden you have 8 to 10 spirits, anthem effects online, damage triggers online, and combat finishers ready to go. Cards such as War Leader's Call, Impact Tremors slowly drain the table while your token count grows. Every spirit entering the battlefield becomes extra damage, so even if combat stalls out, opponents are still getting chipped down. But the real knockout punches comes from cards such as Akroma's Will and Moonshaker's Cavalry. These are cards that suddenly turn a board of random spirits into lethal damage out of nowhere. And don't forget, Quintorius himself gives your entire spirit army double strike and vigilance. That ultimately can end the game immediately if you already have a decent board established. What I really like about this deck is it doesn't feel like traditional Boros. You're not just jamming creatures and attacking mindlessly. You're grinding value, recycling resources, building incremental advantage, and then exploding with one massive combat step once the table realizes it's too late. Overall, I think Quintorius History Chaser is one of the most intriguing Boros commanders I've seen in quite some time. This deck takes colors that are usually known for straightforward aggression and turns them into a graveyard value engine that you can grind, rebuild, and end the game out of nowhere with an explosive combat turn. The precon already has a solid foundation right out of the box, but with these upgrades I've just included, this deck becomes an absolute powerhouse at the commander table. Once the graveyard starts looping, the spirit army grows, and the payoff cards hit the battlefield. This deck can snowball incredibly fast. So if you enjoy resource value, token strategies, and turning graveyards into a second hand, I definitely recommend checking out this commander. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what cards you'd like to see added to this deck. I always love to see what kind of tech people are brewing. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I'm Jaime Hernandez with the Rooster's Den. I'll catch you at the next one. Take care, y'all.